poppin', everybody? Welcome to SOKENT. Today we're going to be talking about boxing news. So make sure you click that subscribe button, click that thumbs up button, leave a motherfucking comment, and let's get to it. Today we talking about Keith One Time Thurman, bruh. And the topic of today is, has Keith One Time Thurman lost the love for the sport of boxing? Keith Thurman has not fought since May of last year. Basically, he hasn't fought for well over a year. It's almost 2 years if you really think about it. And I don't know, man. Like, the last time that we saw Keith Thurman was about 2 or 3 months ago at the Danny Garcia and Sean Porter fight. And Keith Thurman said that he was preparing for a comeback fight in December. Now, it's just been announced that, the whole Deontay Wilder fight against Tyson Fury, the undercard was announced. And surprisingly, Keith Thurman was not on that undercard. You know what I'm saying? So it's looking like Keith Thurman is not going to be fighting the whole year of 2018. And that's a problem. And I'm going to tell you why that's a problem, right? I'm noticing something about Keith Thurman. It looks like Keith Thurman is comfortable being away from boxing. And what I mean by that is, Keith Thurman, he's not being active on social media. He's not showing up to any other fights. The only time that we see him show up at fights is if Sean Porter or Danny Garcia is fighting. If those two aren't boxing, you're not going to see him there. Guys, did you guys see how Keith Thurman looked at that Danny Garcia and Sean Porter fight? Keith Thurman was very overweight. His cheeks were puffy. He had a little stomach. And it's clear that he hasn't even been trying to train or anything like that. Now, I will say this. Keith Thurman recently got married. His wife is very beautiful. Shout out to Keith Thurman. He definitely lived up to the name One Time with his wife because, his wife that's one bad female right there, man. So shout out to Keith for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to spend this whole video going in on Keith, so I got to at least show the nigga a little bit of love. But before I go in, let me make this clear. Keith Thurman is my favorite boxer at 147. I want to make that clear. He's actually my favorite boxer, period, right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm a huge Keith Thurman fan. I think that, in my opinion, he was the best in boxing. I can't say that right now because I have to be honest and I have to give that to Errol Spence. And I'm going to tell you something, man. Ever since Errol Spence has took the limelight away from Keith Thurman, it seems like Keith Thurman is dealing with a lot of pressure. And we all know, a lot of people don't do very well under pressure. Some people do well under pressure, but a lot of people aren't built like that. A lot of people aren't mentally strong like that. And I don't think that's what Keith Thurman's problem is, because I watch a lot of interviews of Keith Thurman. And Keith Thurman is a very spiritual dude. He meditates a lot. He's into Buddhism. And people that meditate, people that are into spirituality, those are some of the most toughest, mentally stable people that you'll come across, because they've learned how to master their mind. Deontay Wilder also talks about meditation. So I don't think that's the case with Keith Thurman. I just think that Keith Thurman has lost the love for the sport of boxing. I think at this point in time, Keith Thurman is more in love with his wife than he is with boxing. And I don't know, man. Maybe he's having a tough time balancing his love life with boxing. Because you got to think, before Keith Thurman was married, this guy's been boxing since he was 7 years old? He's been boxing his whole life. So maybe when Keith Thurman was injured and he got time to travel the world and he met his wife and he got married, maybe he's more happier just being at home and just being a husband than he is focusing on boxing. Maybe he's focused on, starting a family. Maybe his wife is pregnant right now. Maybe there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that Keith Thurman's not telling us. But my problem is this, Keith Thurman, you have a fan base, bro. And right now, you're treating your fans like they ain't shit, bro. I mean, You're not posting anything on Instagram. You're not posting anything on Twitter. You're not doing any interviews. Like, do you guys remember when Keith Thurman used to do interviews all the time? Do you guys remember when Keith Thurman was like, "Don't duck me, son. You better not duck me, son." Y'all remember that, Keith Thurman? Do you guys remember when Keith Thurman called out Manny Pacquiao? Do you guys remember when Keith Thurman called out Floyd Mayweather because Keith Thurman was Floyd Mayweather's mandatory, but instead of fighting Keith Thurman, he fought Andre Berto? Do you guys remember that? What happened to that Keith Thurman? Like, what happened? And my problem is this, bruh. If you don't want to box anymore, or if you just want to take time off, just give up the belt, my nigga. You have the Super WBA belt right now. What I think Keith Thurman needs to do is, listen, bro. If boxing is not your main priority at this point in time, give up the belt. You know, at least tell your fans, be honest with your fans, and just say, listen, boxing is just not in my heart right now. I'm more happy being at home with my wife, and, you know, I'm focused on other things. I'm taking time off. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think Keith Thurman is going to retire. You guys got to remember, Keith Thurman is, 29? He's turning 30 this year, if he's not already 30. Keith Thurman still has a lot of boxing in the tank. But I'm gonna tell y'all something that a lot of people don't know. Now, I saw an interview with Kenny Porter, Sean Porter's dad, and Sean Porter's dad, Kenny, was talking about how Keith Thurman was lying about being injured after being in a car accident. Do you guys remember when Keith Thurman was talking about how he got in a car accident before his fight with Sean Porter, and he still fought after that? Kenny Porter came out and said that he did his research and found out that there was no car accident. He's like, yo, I heard what Keith said about getting into a car accident and messing up his wrist or whatever. None of that happened. All of that was made up. And that's starting to make a lot of sense because, guys, Keith Thurman was supposed to fight in January of this year. Then from January it went to April. Then from April it went to August. Then we saw him do his interview before the Danny and Sean fight. Keith said that he's still number one. Errol Spence is number two. He said that, you know, he was asked, hey, do you plan on fighting Errol Spence this year? Keith Thurman said it's not going to happen. He's like, this is my comeback year. Keith, there's only 2 months left in the year. How is this your comeback year, bruh? You haven't fought all year. I'm starting to think all of these injuries are fake. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Like, I'm not going to bite my tongue no more because I used to bite my tongue a lot for Keith Thurman just because he's my favorite boxer. But I got to keep it real. I'm starting to think all of these injuries are fake. I'm starting to think Keith Thurman just got lazy. I think that he's just enjoying life right now, and there's nothing wrong with that. My thing is this, dog. Just tell your fans what's going on, bruh. I mean, damn, you can't post one picture on Instagram. And I hate that I have to say that, but in 2018, social media is everything. If you got a fan base and you're not keeping your fans up to date with what's going on, then they going to move over you. They going to move on, and they going to move on to the next big thing. And I'm going to tell you something, dog. A lot of Keith Thurman's fans are very disappointed right now. A lot of Keith Thurman's fans are Errol Spence fans right now. I'm one of them. Now, I'm not saying I'm just going to switch up on Keith like that, but what do you want me to do? My favorite boxer hasn't boxed in almost 2 years. And this is supposed to be the best boxer at 147. I can't co-sign that. I just can't. He's not even active. He's not active. He's not doing interviews. He's not posting on social media. He's not showing up to any fights. It's like, what's going on with this guy, man? And a lot of people might say, well, maybe Keith is an introvert. Maybe Keith just doesn't like the limelight like that. That's not true. That's not true at all. Because once again, if you go back to a year ago when he was active, even before he had those 2 fights with Danny and Sean, Keith Thurman was always doing interviews. Keith Thurman was always updating his social media accounts. Keith Thurman was always letting his fans know what's going on. At one point in time, Keith Thurman was the one that people were ducking. So it's crazy how a year later, things have changed so drastically. It's crazy when you really think about it. So, I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on. Maybe Keith Thurman just decided to take the rest of the year off and just give all of 2019 dedicated to resurrecting his boxing career. But I'm going to tell you something, man. I hear a lot of people out there saying, well, oh, Floyd Mayweather did the same thing. I'm going to explain to you why you should never compare Keith Thurman to Floyd Mayweather. Let me tell you something. You know what's the difference between Floyd Mayweather taking a year off and Keith Thurman taking a year off? Floyd Mayweather stays in shape. I want y'all to really think about that. When have y'all ever seen a picture of Floyd Mayweather out of shape? You cannot find one. Even when Floyd Mayweather went to jail and he grew his hair out and he was looking like a old ass Samuel Jackson, Floyd Mayweather was still in shape. See, y'all don't understand it. Y'all don't understand this. Y'all want everybody to be like Floyd, but a lot of these boxers don't got the same work ethic as Floyd. Keith Thurman ain't in shape right now. Keith Thurman is not in shape right now. Floyd Mayweather can come fight right now because he's always training. He's always in shape. He's always working out. He's always eating healthy. Floyd Mayweather don't drink, he don't smoke, he don't do none of that shit. That's why Floyd Mayweather is able to go to jail, come out and fight Juan Marquez and whoop his ass. That's why, because he takes care of himself. He's focused. His mind is sharp. Y'all seen how Keith Thurman was looking at that Danny and Sean fight? Keith Thurman was looking like he was eating nothing but goddamn steak and McDonald's and shit. Y'all seen that? So with that being said, the worst part about it is when you take this much time off of boxing, you might not ever be the same boxer that you used to be. Because when you stop staying athletic and when you stop working out, you're just making it harder and harder and harder on yourself to get back in shape. The reason why Errol Spence can eat what he wants to eat, because Errol Spence is looking pretty big right now too. Gervonta Davis is looking pretty big right now too. Adrian Broner is looking a little big right now too. But all of these boxers are active. All of them are fighting. All of them are active. Keith Thurman ain't active, dog. It's almost been 2 years. We haven't seen you, bro. You have not fought in 2 years. So, with that being said, subscribe, leave a comment, thumbs up the video. Let me know what y'all think. I don't know what the hell is going on with Keith Thurman, man. I don't know. But it's strange. It's strange that, you know, his managers aren't coming out with a statement. You know, he's not posting on anything. He's just like ghost. Like the man just disappeared off the earth. It's crazy when you really think about it. You know, you're supposed to be the best at 147 and you're not even posting on social media. That's a little strange. So with that being said, man, I'm out. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know how y'all feel. I hope everything is all right with Keith, man. Keith, if you're watching this video, bro, just let us know what's going on, man. We just want to see you, dog. Just post. Like, post pictures. You know? Hopefully you don't post a picture and you out here looking like Rick Ross and shit, bro, because I don't know. I'm out. Skirt.